Good morning, guys. So I was just about to assign you your study guide for this unit test, and then I realized that we didn't talk about how to find slope when you're given 2 points, right? I hope you guys remember that slope is simply rise over run, and we kind of touched on it when we were talking about tables, but I just wanted to clearly explain how you can find the slope of a line given 2 points. Now you know the equation of a line is y is equal to mx plus b, where this m is the slope and this b is the y-intercept, or if you remember, it's also called the starting point, right? Starting point. So we can find the slope. Let's say we've been told that this line passes through the point x is 0, y is 2, and another point x is 4, y is say 8, right? This line passes through these 2 points, and they want us to find the equation of this line, right? The equation of this line. So in order to find the equation of this line, we need to first find the slope of this line. And we know slope is equal to rise divided by run. And when you want to find the slope between 2 points, the rise, I hope you guys remember, if you have a line, the rise going upwards is simply a change between 2 y values, because you rise from one y value and then you rise to a certain second y value. So let's call this y value y2 and this y value y1. You are rising from y1 to y2. So to figure out what this value is, how much you rise, you simply just subtract the y value, the y2 value minus the y1 value, and you get the difference. So that rise is a change in y, and the run is a change in x values. And that rise is also given as the second y value minus the first y value, and the run is the second x value minus the first x value. So with that in mind, we can easily find the slope of this line. I'm going to label my points. I'll just go to the very first point and say, let this be the first x value, the first y value, the second x value, and the second y value. And then I'll just say y2 minus y1. The second y value is 8. The first y value is 2. The second x value is 4. The first y value is 0. So my slope will be 6 divided by 4, which can be simplified to 3 divided by 2. So I have my slope already. Yeah, I have my slope. Now to find the equation of a line, I need to find the y-intercept. And there are 2 ways to do this. So, just take it slow. I'm going to try and take it slow. There are 2 ways to do this. One of the ways is called the point-slope form. Point-slope form, right? Point-slope form of the equation of a line. What the point-slope form says is that the equation of any line can be written in the form y minus y naught equals slope, open brackets, x minus x naught. Now, obviously, because you guys are, pacifists or whatever, you're going to look at this equation and think, this is terrible. What are all those letters and zeros doing in a sum equation? How do I even remember this? First of all, if you ask this on a test or exam, you will be given this formula at this stage, right? You'll be given this formula, but next year you'll be required to remember it. Secondly, this is not really anything too big once you break it down. The m, you guys already know that is the slope, right? The y naught is any y value, the y value from any of these 2 points. So you pick one of any of these 2 points, and that y value is the y naught, right? You pick any of these 2 points of your choice, the y value from that point is the y naught. And the x naught is the x value from that same point that you picked of any of these 2. So let's say that I have picked this point, right? And whichever point you pick, you have to get the same answers. Let's say that I've picked this point. Oh, and I didn't say about the y and the x, right? Which don't have any notes on them, are the x and y that are in this equation. So those ones just stay as they are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute. I'm going to pick this point over here and say this will be y minus the y naught will be the y value of that point, which is 2, is equal to slope, and the slope I have is 3 over 2, open brackets, x, that x remains as it is because it has to be in the equation, minus x naught, and x naught was 0. So I can break this down and expand it. Y minus 2 equals 3 over 2x times x will just be 3 over 2x, and 3 over 2 times 0 will just be 0. So then I'll add 2 both sides, I'll add 2 both sides, and I'll end up with my equation as y equals 3 over 2x plus 2. So this is one way of doing this problem. I'm going to show you an alternative second way of finding the equation. So the second way, or the alternative, is, remember I had my slope as 3 over 2, I had my points as x0, y is 2, and x is 4, y is 8. So the alternative is, you want to find this equation, y is equal to mx plus b. You've already found the slope, the m, right? But you don't know what the b is, right? You don't know what the b is, and if you know the b, you can just write the m and the b right there, and it's all finished. So what I need to do is I need to find the b. One trick I can use is I can substitute known values into this equation. So for example, and this time let me use the second point just to prove that whichever point you use, you should get the same answers. So if I use this point, I will substitute for x as 4, and I will substitute for y as 8, and I will substitute for the slope as m, and the only thing that is left will be b. So let's try that and see. The y value is 8, the slope is 3 over 2, the x value is 4, and plus b. So I can simplify this and say divide by 2 is 1, divide by 2 is 2. So this is 8 is equal to 3 times 2 is 6 plus b, and therefore I can subtract 6 both sides, and I end up seeing that b is equal to 2. Now once I have my b, I just need to write my equation, and the equation is supposed to be y equals mx plus b. So it will be y is equal to the m. I know the m is 3 over 2x plus b, which is 2. So I end up getting the same equation. I hope you can see the same exact equation using 2 different methods. So that's how I can find the equation of a line going through 2 points, and I hope you guys can choose any of these methods that you prefer and you use that method. So for today I'm going to give you some practice work on this, and then we'll start our test review tomorrow. Just to clarify, this approach here is known as the point slope form. So if you're dealing with a question that says point slope form, this equation will be there on your worksheet or on whatever you're using, and this is the method they'll expect you to use. But if it doesn't specify what method you can use, then you can go ahead and do this method as well. Maybe let's just do one more example. So the question is, find the equation of a line passing through the points x is 0, y is negative 1, and x is negative 3, y is 3, or y is 4, or 5. Just trying to pick nice numbers. Okay, let's make this negative 2. Okay, all I have to do is, remember, first thing you need to do is find the slope, and the slope is change in y over change in x, and the change in y is the second y value minus the first y value. The change in x is the second x value minus the first x value. So your slope is going to be, if I label these things, this is x1, y1, x2, y2. The second y value is 5 minus the first y value is 1. And then the second x value is 2 minus, because this is x2 over here, right? Minus the first x value is 0. So I have 5 minus negative 1 is 6, divided by 2 minus 0 is 2, which gives me 6 over 2, which gives me 3. So I know the slope is 3, and I personally like the point slope form, but like I said, feel free to use whichever one you want. So I'm going to use the point slope form, which says y minus y naught is equal to m into x minus x naught. So if I want to use that to find the equation of the line, I'm going to pick this point, because this point already has a 0 in it, so there will be less arithmetic to do, there will be less mathematics to do. So I'm going to have y minus y naught, which is negative 1, equals m, which is 3, into x minus x naught. The x naught is 0, and so this is y plus 1 is equal to 3x minus 0. So I'll subtract 1, and end up with y is equal to 3x minus 1. So this is your equation that goes through these 2 points. And let me just use the other method as well, this one, y is equal to mx plus b, right? Remember, I need to find the b, and then I'll just write the equation. So I'm going to use this same point as well, because again there's a 0, so it's less mathematics to do. The y value is -1, the m is 3, I already found the m, the x value is 0, and the plus b. So I'll end up having -1 is equal to 0 plus b, so this means that b is -1. So I can just write my equation. The equation is supposed to be y equals mx plus b. So I write my equation as y is equal to m is 3x plus b, which is -1. So you get the same equation. You guys can choose which one works well for you. Okay, so I hope you've been writing the notes, and I'm going to assign you some work to practice this. Have a good day. Bye.